Hey guys, welcome to my channel ABC of Literature with Miss Gifty. My name is Gift Obani again, and I am your literature coach. If you watch my first video, you know that I've been teaching literature for a while now. Not too long, of course, but at least there are one or two things I have been sharing that I think you've been finding helpful. Yeah, so today I'm going to try and make this video as brief as possible, okay? But it's of essence. It's really important because JAMB examination is fast approaching, and it's coming up on the I think first week of June, right? So today is 1st of May, so you can see that it's barely a month away. Before you know it, and some of you that will be trying up for the mock, which will come up in 2-3 weeks time. So it's of essence that I make this video because I want to give you one or two tips that would help you to pass your JAMB examination. Okay, so yeah, JAMB, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, that is for your literature in English. Now, most of the time, those of you in pure arts, you pick literature, government, TRS, and of course English is compulsory. Yes, but literature, some use economics. I doubt, but most of the time, pure arts, you take literature with the government and the CRK, and and it's you're being scored over 400. And now for literature in English, there are certain things you might know, but I think I need to lay emphasis on it. For literature in English, it's very important. First things first, JAMB is 40 questions, right? You are going to be tested on your knowledge on literary appreciation. That's the figures of speech, poetic devices, dramatic elements, and all that. You're going to be tested on your knowledge of the literary text, you understand, of that time. You're going to be tested of the literary text of that time. Example, like for our set, we are looking at Look Back in Anger, A Midsummer Night's Dream, August Wilson's Fences, Invisible Man, Let Me Die Alone, Second Class Citizen, Unexpected Joy at Dawn, The Lion and the Dread, and so many poems like The Leader and the Led, Black Woman, The Grieved Land, Song of the Men of My Land, The Government Driver on His Retirement, Raider of the Treasure Trove, The Good Morrow, Caged Birds, The Journey of the Magi, Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night, Binti, Poplars, and Bats. So many of them, even if it's one question, you understand. For JAMB, you can't gamble it. There's a thin line, you understand. Having 249 and 250 is a huge difference, especially when you're applying for a certain course like law and they say cut of mind is 250 and you have 249. They're like, there's nothing you can do about it. So you cannot joke with a single thing. Now, those of you who perhaps wrote last year, you know the text you guys read, text like Harvest of Corruption, it ended. There's a new syllabus for 2021 to 2025. So you might not come across works of Bayo Adebowale, Harvest of Corruption, Native Son, The Castle of Otranto, or poems like Puli and all that. You understand? So the syllabus has changed. So those of you who are writing JAMB, you wrote with the last set 2020, previous set, and you want to try again, you might have issues with this text. So one thing you need to know is to enroll in an available JAMB center. I would suggest one of all these extramural classes. I'm speaking to those people who are not currently in secondary school. Enroll in extramural classes to get familiar with this text. You don't know them. You have barely read the one I might think a regular Nigerian has read is Second Class Citizen. It's a wonderful work by Buche Mechesa. It's one that I even read, right? But most of these books, even the poems, they are some of the foreign poems, you don't know them. And you might find one question, two questions. John will just keep throwing those questions at you. You need to be able to answer them. So I would advise you, first thing first, to be able to pass literature in JAMB, you need to get familiar with this text. It is very important. Just Google it. You understand. Google literature in English syllabus for WAEC NECO JAMB 2021 to 2021, and to come up. Those of you in secondary school, you're at an advantage. Use it now. You understand. You might barely find past questions on this text in JAMB because apart from Second Class Citizen, there is no other text that have ever come up in JAMB that you find. So you might barely. So you have to read it, and not summary. JAMB will ask you, particular question. Like, take for instance, let me just pick a random year. And show you the kind of questions they'll ask you. You understand? Like, yeah, for those of you who attempted JAMB last year, a question like this came up for Harvest of Corruption. They said, the usual works, these things. We will dangle this babe before the chief for a prize. He will employ her and we can make use of her to get what we want. She will run the errands while we pick the box. The babe in the excerpt above refers to A. Aloho, A. Ogei, B. Alice, C. Ochuole, D. Aloho. It was Aloho. It was Ochuole and the other lady planning of how to, entrap the chief with Aloho so that, they can use her to make money or whatever. Now, if you rely on summary, you might not necessarily. This is from JAMB 2006, based on the text, those who's 2006 to 2020. This is on JAMB 2006. They will ask you questions on books they expect you to have knowledge of because it's part of your scheme of work. So those of you who are out of secondary school and who wrote last year and you're trying again this year, you have to. Or those of you in secondary school who are not reading at the moment and you're relying on summary. Girl or boy or man or woman. Girl or boy, because you have to be, you will struggle. You won't have a good score. And when you don't have a good score, you might have to settle for a course you don't want to study. You want to go for something really nice. You might have to just settle. Why would you settle when you can do your best and have the score? I don't want any of you to settle, for crying out loud. You ain't settling. You get, right? You get my drift. You ain't gonna settle. So please, I beg of you. Please, you have to. It won't cost you anything. Buy them, read them. Some of you, your schools provide already. Read them. Those of you who are out of secondary school, meet people in SS3 arts and the art classes, SS1, SS2. Give them. Most school provide this text. They sell it to their students. Ask them to help you. You can read some, okay? Attend JAMB lesson. I'm giving you tips now. Attend JAMB lesson. Subscribe to my channel, of course. Recommend it to people because I'll be dropping a lot of videos. I'm just trying to teach you how to pass JAMB for literature in English. You have to. I cannot overemphasize it. It is key. You cannot look at the kind of question. If you are relying on summary, of course, the summary of the text. It was this girl who followed her friend, who met an old friend, and the old friend introduced her to this man, and that was her at the end of the day. She got pregnant for this man. She lost her. Of course, who can't summarize a book? Haven't we summarized it? JAMB won't ask you summary. Look at the kind of question. They'll just quote. You understand? They'll just quote. Still on Harvest of Corruption. Now, in this particular book, 2 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. 5 questions came from Harvest of Corruption. 5. Imagine not having read the book. That's 2016. It means you lose 5 marks, and that's quite sad. I am not trying to scare you here, but please, if you want to attempt literature in English in the next 1 month in JAMB, and you haven't read any of these books, you won't have a high score. Because one thing, I do tell my students, I love subjective questions, I love theory questions, because at least I get to express myself. You will always have something to write. But if you are trying to attempt OBJ questions, you have to just get an answer. You are either right or wrong. You are either right or wrong. So I beg of you, especially when it comes to the text, study this text, okay? And please, also, one thing with JAMB repeats questions. Even if they change the formats, they are familiar questions. If you are someone that studied JAMB past questions, you would know. Buy one of these books. This is from JAMB 1978 to date. They are very cheap. You just go for Q&A. I'll go to the market, a bookshop, Q&A, literature in English. Buy it for all the subjects, even the CRUK government or whatever. And English. Buy it. Then you start studying there, especially literary appreciation. They will ask you so many questions. You understand? I cannot start reading. You will get. I organize classes. I have classes I organize. I am in Bayelsa State, so I organize classes. Now, sometimes you ask, Ma, this. You see a student say, Ma, this question came out. I'm like, yeah, you see that? You see? And sometimes, if you will start from the very beginning. Fine, you might come across books you have no idea about. Skip those parts. Those were the books of that particular year. That was part of their scheme of work. So you can skip. Focus on the parts they set on literary appreciation. Answer all those questions. You understand? The basic idea of any given work of art is its A, imagery, B, style, C, theme, D, tone. Obviously, theme. That's the basic idea. That is the basic idea. The theme. You come across, get familiar. I can't read every single thing. To be really honest with you guys, I can't read every single thing. But they are powerful questions, you understand? In which of the following genre is the term soliloquy generally used? A, novel, B, drama, C, epic. epic, D, poetry. Obviously, B, drama, soliloquy, you understand? When we get to hear the innermost thoughts of the character, you understand, the character on stage, we get to hear his soliloquizing. Sometimes he's soliloquizing, and different from monologue and all that. Okay, so I recommend you also buy Literature and English Exam Focus. It's quite hefty, it's blue, it's about 2,000 or thereabout. It will help you, it will consolidate. Now, you are not buying it not to read the text. I tell my students, you are not buying it not to read the text, you are buying it to consolidate what you have learned. It's very comprehensive. Another one you can buy, if you can't afford that one, this one is equally good. Excellent Performance in Literature in English, written by Oliver M. Iluebe, BA Hons, English and Literature, Dips in Law, Uniben. It's fantastic. I love it. Excellence in Literature, excellent performance in Literature in English for WAEC, NECO, GCE and JAMB. So please, I beg of you guys, you have to purchase this book. It is really important. You have to buy them. If you don't, you understand, I don't want to say you will fail, but you are working towards that. Okay, you have to buy past questions, study every day, give yourself a task. When you and again, please, before I leave, do not always rely on the answers provided. I beg of you. You will see it somewhere there. I am not trying to, but for those of you who have been studying, you will agree with me that 40% of the time or 30% of the time, their answers are not always correct. Especially if you're using the one for WAEC and NECO. JAMB is even worse. I think people that make JAMB are different from people that make WAEC and NECO, because JAMB, and no, WAEC is even worse. I think the people that JAMB is even I think 20% of the time. You see WAEC, most of the answers, I feel someone just doing guesswork. When they don't know the answer, just do guesswork. But if you are not familiar, if you buy this book, there's already a session where you have all these literary devices and you study the stylistic elements of poetry, onomatopoeia, assonance, parallelism, scansion, verse, full stanza, the ballad and all that. And also go online. There's some things are not here. You understand? There are some particular figures of speech. If you check some of my videos on figures of speech, I chose those random ones that they hardly treat in class, like the caricature, the parody. It will always come out. Like, there is no two ways about it. It always comes out. You understand? So what did I say? First of all, you need to try and read. Now you ask yourself, how do I do it? The time is short and all that. Yeah, I don't know. You have to try. You have to sacrifice now, because you need to get a high score. You cannot have, let's assume the reason why you didn't secure admission for the course you love. You understand? You cannot maybe have 230 something instead of 250 something, and you come and have 240. No, you have to score high. Okay, you have to give it the best shot, so that when you're trying to seek for admission now, you won't struggle. Nobody will have to go and beg. You just get your admission on merit. At least even if someone has to go and appeal, the person knows that at least this my person scored high, my child did well. I tell my students, have a high score that your parents can be proud of, and even if you don't want to make a call, okay, so how's the admission? They know that, yeah, my daughter earned it because she is hardworking, she read, she is ready. You get? So I don't have my exam focus. It's quite heavy. I left it in the staff room. Sorry, I'm a teacher in a school. So okay, sorry. That's about that. You have to buy Q&A. It's called Q&A. It's 600 naira. Here, it might be cheaper where you are, or 700-800. Buy Q&A, JAMB, Literature in English. Study the questions. Studying the questions. Yeah, like I always say, you can always reach out to me. My phone number is 09057210517. You can always reach out to me if you have a question. Someone reached out to me. Someone called wonderful lady called Adenike. Yeah, I got your message. She want me to treat the journey of the Magi, and I'll work on that in my next video. Okay, we'll work on that so that we can the journey of the Magi coming right up by T.S. Eliot. Fantastic stuff. You understand? Really fantastic. Yeah. So So that's about that. I don't want to really waste much of our time, please. And time management, how to pass JAMB in Literature in English. You have to work with time. Now you're going to get 100 questions in English, then 40 in the other 3 subjects, and you might have about 2 hours. How do you want to do that? When sometimes I give my students a task in this Q&A, just 20 questions. You give them time. 30 minutes, they are not done. Like the hell? Do you want to fail? Because what's not your computer will just submit. Ask people that wrote last year, tell them to tell you how it went. Your computer will just submit. You have to work with time. And that's more reason you should study. You have to, they'll bring out a lot of extracts, like here on this page. You can see an extract. The bustle in the house, the morning after death is solemnest of industries enacted upon earth, the sweeping of the heart and putting love away, we shall not want to use again until eternity. You understand? So more like solemn resignation. So you have to be able to read, and that is why studying helps a lot, because you can't afford to be wasting time on one question when your time is going. You understand? You have to study. I can't overemphasize it. For literature, please buy Exam Focus, or you get this one. They are both really good, but there are things here you won't find there, and there are things there you won't find here. I work with both. I have other textbooks too. I work with a lot of them. It helps me and it helps my students, because I want them to have high scores, which probably 85, 90 in literature in JAMB. I mean, to be honest, this is 1978 to 2020. We have studied all. We have. And again, finally, before I end the video, I keep saying I'll end, I haven't ended. Download my school app. I recommend it. All my students have it, just that they're not allowed to use phones in school, and most of them are in the boarding house. So sometimes some of them use my phones during their free period where they have to go to the library. Some will come. They take turns actually. This one will come. My school. It's my school app. My school, as I said it. Go to Play Store, download it. All you need to do is to subscribe. 1K. It is not expensive. 1,000 naira, and you see, especially if you are not a fan of. Okay, they have the e-copy, and my school sets their own mock. They bring likely questions. Even these new books of the Life Changer that English recommended, they have likely questions you can answer. They make you practice like you are in the exam. There's practice exam, there's real exam where they will start timing you, like JAMB will time you, and you answer and they give you your score. It's a wonderful app. I will recommend it to anyone. I don't know the creators, but kudos to them. It has helped me. It is helping my students. Download my school app, please. Download my school app. So many questions, and their answers, and I don't want to give it a percentage, but they are accurate. Okay, the people who sat down and came up with that app they must be learned people, because their answers are accurate. Okay, if you say you don't want to, or you can't find it where you are, JAMB Q&A, okay, fine, go to your phone. You will have to subscribe. 1K. It's 1,000. Get. You will love it and you will thank me. I promise you will thank me. It's a wonderful app. You can pay with your card. You can make transfer to the account. The moment they just send you a token to your email, and that's it. You're on track. You're on track. So you have to read. These are the little things I know that can help you in passing literature in English. To be very honest, these are little things I know that can help you pass literature in English in JAMB. You understand? Download the My School app. You have to study the text. I recommend studying past. Of course, you have to study past questions, guys. You have to really study past questions. My School app, I have it on my phone. I wish just a way I can be doing the video and be showing you how important and how helpful it is. It is extremely helpful. And time management, you have to know how to use your time. But when you study, time management wouldn't be an issue. When you study, time management wouldn't be an issue at all. Like, I promise you that, because you'll be able to handle it well. Okay, so I want you to take these seriously, these things I am telling you. It will help you. So in subsequent videos, we'll be studying some past questions. Now, attempt the mock. If the registration is closed, I'm sorry, but if it's not closed and you registered, I think it was 800 naira. JAMB mock is coming. It's real life, telling you how it will be. Your score in that mock will tell you. You understand? Attempt the mock. Take it serious. Take it like the real exam, so that it can, within that mock, you have 2 weeks to the main exam, so that you can put in more effort. You see your errors. You get that? Attempt the mock. Okay, very important, guys. Attempt the mock. It will really help you in passing literature in English. Study, read the books. Go online, there's some e-copies, you understand? Wuthering Heights is on Wattpad. If you have Wattpad app, you can read the soft copy. I think that's about that. That's just wooden height. The rest of them you have to actually buy them. So if you're done with secondary school, go to a secondary school, go to SS3 student. If you can't afford, you can't afford to buy, fine, look for someone. Please, can you help me with this text? Because a regular SS3 student should have all by now. My students will finish since last time. You understand? So that we are just preparing and dress, we have been meeting, studying past questions, attempting so many things we need to know. We literally take notes, like pathetic fallacy are things I did not teach them. Stream of consciousness, and we saw them in JAMB question because of studying past questions, and they didn't know, because it's not really, I didn't teach them pathetic fallacy is different from personification. So these are things. So send in your request. I dropped my number. If you got it, fine. If you didn't get it, fine, pause the video and get it. If there are things you want me to treat, send it to me. Thank you, Adenike, for reaching out. It shows that people are actually taking this seriously. So guys, let me stop here. Let me not bore you. Of course, the first thing I'll say is please subscribe, recommend it, share the link, help someone preparing for JAMB, preparing for WAEC, preparing for NECO. Recommend this link, recommend this video. You might know some of these things, but I'm just trying to lay emphasis. Recommend it to anyone you know who is preparing for this examination. Okay, I beg of you, please subscribe. Please reach out to me if you have questions. Subscribe to my video, okay, so that we can keep reaching a wider audience. That's just the key. The key is to teach you all. Thank you very much. I appreciate those of you who have subscribed. I appreciate. I'm open to correction. My comment section is open. I'm open to correction and whatever. We learn every day, we grow, and my name remains Gift. Please click like. Please also like the video. Please, before you just look at, just click, give us a thumbs up, and also subscribe. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. So I think we'll call it a day now. Bye.